Okay, folks, let's take a little look. Here we have a Nikon DSLR, and let's take a look at a few things and talk about cleaning, what to do, what not to do, where to go, where not to go, and I get asked a lot of questions about dust on the main mirror assembly, which is of course right here. Obviously you should not be touching it or getting anywhere near it like I am. Let's go over some of the things we should do, not to do, take a look out for. Obviously dust on your main mirror does not affect your images. What happens obviously immediately before the picture occurs, as I'm going to lift this up gently, is obviously your reflex mirror. You should never touch what I'm touching here or do what I'm doing here. This is for demonstration only. Do not do what I'm doing right here with my finger, okay? Don't do it. Normally I'd have a battery in this camera and lock the mirror up for like a sensor cleaning, so don't do this. So, right here, I'm going to actually drop this down. I'm going to have you take a look at the sub mirror. Yeah, can you see it there? It's another little mirror hanging. Let me take off my flashlight here. It's another little mirror hanging down the main mirror here, and if I flip it up you can actually see it lower as the main mirror assembly lowers. And what this does is it drops light into the AFM. The AFM is the autofocus module right there. It's basically like a doormat that sits right in front. You see your shutter blades there? Right behind the shutter blades obviously is your sensor. Basically your AFM, your autofocus module, is what tells the camera to do to the lens to drive it to get into correct optical focus. Now it could be dusty or dirty, that's typically not the case, but you would blow it out, obviously with your blower, by locking the mirror up, not by holding it up like I'm doing with my finger here, okay? Do not do this like I'm doing with my finger, never do that. So what this sub mirror is doing is it's actually dropping light for metering for your autofocus down to the autofocus module right down there. And let's put my headband back on and have you take a quick look at it there. Since I'm using a headband, and point it out to you. See there? Right at the bottom. You should never do this, what I'm doing also right now. So it is this little spot right here. There is a little module down there, and that is your AFM, your autofocus module. So this is a semi-transparent mirror. If you actually look really closely at it, you can actually see a box right here that the light is passing through to the sub-mirror, which is reflecting down on for autofocus to the AFM. Okay, this all lifts up out of the way. Right up here, of course, we have your focus screen. And there we have a latch for removing the focus screen. If you ever try to take that out, you'll have a bitch trying to get it back in. And above that is your pentaprism, which is a prism glass assembly here, which obviously sends light out through your finder eyepiece and your viewfinder. Right? Okay, this entire area is your light box. Here are your contacts, the contacts on the lenses, which, since you see that there is no, now this is the, I wanted to show you the, right here, what you don't have on your D5000 series and D3000 series is this mechanical coupling for older AF lenses. Also for some current lenses, it doesn't have a mechanical coupling for driving the lens. See it right there? Basically it looks like a flathead screwdriver, and you can't see it on the back of this lens because this lens is not an older autofocus lens. This has a silent wave motor inside of it, so instead of it being mechanically driven, which is a motor that drives this and drives gears inside older autofocus lenses, instead of that, it is feeding power and information from here to the contacts on your lens to drive the motor, and here the camera is telling the motor where to drive it to get it into correct autofocus as it's being told the information, which is being fed to it by, right underneath here, your sub-mirror to your AFM. your autofocus module, which is right down here. And obviously you can see your shutter blades back there. So let's talk about something that you should never do that everybody wants to do. It does not affect your image any, is that people want to clean this reflex mirror. Oh my god, look, it's got dust in there. Well, if it's got dust in there, you're not going to touch it. You want to know what's more sensitive inside your camera light box than your autofocus? Your digital, your sensor? It is this mirror here. You want to talk about fragile? You think, oh, it's a mirror. You know, I clean my mirror all the time. No, it's not that sort of mirror at all. It is insanely fragile. Okay, turn your camera upside down. Here's a little grenade air blower that the crazy Viking sent me. Thanks, man. You're awesome. Turn your camera upside down. Okay? You want your stuff to fall out of your camera, not into your camera, right? Okay, whatever is left, fine. You're going to have to deal with it. Now, what you can do, now you need to buy a little artist brush like this at a store. Never touch the bristles, never. Once you've done that, you've deposited oil on it. Never want to touch it. What you can do, I'm going to do this so you can see it, but what you're going to do is you're going to turn it upside down, and you're going to get your head down below the camera and do that so everything falls out. But for demonstration purposes, I'm going to do it where you can see it. But you don't do it like that. You're going to be doing it with the camera upside down, sweeping the brush out, looking in, not touching the mirror, never going past this barrier. You see this, where this black felt is? That's the barrier you don't go. So with the camera upside down, you can sweep out, and once you actually do that, actually take another cloth and sweep off the debris that you just swept out of the bristles of your brush. Remember, you're doing this upside down. I'm doing this right side up for demonstration purposes only. Do you get it? Never cross this barrier where you see that felt. Never. And you always do it upside down. You're trying to get stuff to fall out, not fall in towards your sensor. Obviously and logically so, right? Right. Now, I'm going to do something that you're not supposed to do, and that I see a lot of people do. They'll take a wet Q-tip or the softest thing imaginable, and they go, well, there's a little spot on there. I think it's a piece of oil, so I'm going to clean it. Yeah, and you know, there's dust all on this mirror. Well, guess what? You've just totally fucked up your mirror. And light has to pass through this mirror. This is not a 100% reflectance mirror. There's another mirror behind there that is passing through. You see the square right there? That's right. People are like, well, I wet it and I used distilled water, so now I'm going to do this number. Oh my god, it's getting worse. Oh my god, it's getting worse. What's wrong? You know, I used distilled water and it's brand new Q-tips, and I've left, you see, I want you to see this. You might not be able to see it. You'll actually see purple streaks. They're heinous little light diffraction streaks that are on your main mirror there. You'll never get that off, okay? It's foobard. I'll see people do this. You never clean your mirror. If you can't get it off with a blower, forget about it. It doesn't affect the image. Deal with it. Now there's something that you can touch. Do this upside down also. This is your finder screen. You'll be doing this upside down. You'll be dragging it towards the front. And once you drag stuff out, you take the bristles and take a clean cloth, and you actually sweep out whatever debris is in there. So you'll be doing this upside down. Not like this, but upside down where gravity causes the particles to fall out. Sweeping towards the front. If there is any major debris. Most of this stuff shouldn't even be in there to begin with if you kept your lenses clean. Right? Exactly. So, and of course you'd be doing this on a mirror lockup. You couldn't actually clean your focus screen with a mirror lockup. That would be for sensor cleaning. But I don't have a battery in this camera. Now, this is your integrated motor for older autofocus lenses. As I said, doesn't exist in the 3000 series. Doesn't exist in the 5000 series. And what we said, talk about the sub mirror. Remember, you should never do this. What I'm doing right now, never do it. This is for demonstration only, showing you what's inside your light box. You see the little sub mirror there? You destroyed your main mirror, then you've destroyed the light to the sub mirror, which is passing light focus information to your AFM, your autofocus module, down here. Now, when you got a mirror lockup, when you go to clean your sensor, there could be a spot of dust down here in the bay. You never drop a Q-tip or anything back here, okay, unless you're doing a sensor cleaning, and then it wouldn't be a Q-tip, it would be actually a sensor cleaning wipe. But, I'm trying to get the light where you can see it properly there. There is your autofocus module bay. So, if you ruin this mirror, you're destroying the light to your sub-mirror, which is dropping information to your autofocus module. So what do you think that might affect? That might affect the autofocus ability of your camera. Okay. So, let's do something else. Let's take a look at something else back here. And since I don't have a battery in this camera, and of course you would never do what I'm doing right now, you would never stick your fingers inside your light box. If you stick your finger inside your light box like I'm doing right now, you're a dummy. You never do that. Now you can see your shutter blades back here. Now you should never touch them, but I'm going to do it for demonstration purposes only. So, let's take a look. See how fragile they are? Even a puff of air. Your shutter blades are incredibly fragile. So, there are two things more fragile than your digital sensor inside your light box. First being your main mirror and the sub-mirror behind it, which is feeding information to the autofocus module. The second being these aperture blades. You see how fragile that is? You'd never do this. Never! It's insanely fragile. Don't do what I'm doing. But for demonstration purposes, let's just take a look at the sensor back here. Okay? Let's stick the pliers in there. Fuck yeah. Let's get it. Let's see if we can grab some of the fuck yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm scratching up the sensor just a little bit. There we go. Let's see. Let me get a shutter blade out for you. Yeehaw! I got it, baby. There's your autofocus sensor back there. Look at that, honey. Yep. You see it back there? Oh, yeah. It's pretty, ain't... Oh, my God. I put a big scratch on it. Take a look at your shutter blade. How fragile is it? Well, we don't have to worry about shutter speed anymore, bitches, because it is been taken care of. Now, this is what I would call sensor damage. Your sensor has been officially damaged. And here is a shutter leaf out of the back of your camera. It is specially coated, but you want to talk about something that is insanely fragile and thin. This is it. They're coated for friction because they're constantly like little leveler blinds sweeping back and forth across each other. And so you don't do what I just showed you. Nope, you would never do this. Obviously, logically so, but this is for demonstration purposes. There we go. There we go. I fixed it, honey. It's better now. Oh my God, I cracked myself up. So, this Nikon is no longer any good. Actually, it wasn't any good to begin with, but you got it. Everything up there, though, as far as the mirror and whatnot, that's all accurate. Exactly like I told you, so don't do none of that. Another video from the Angry Photographer. You like to send me $2 or you can tell me to go screw myself, whatever makes you happy. Just remember, never touch that mirror or the aperture blade.